Peace and love, everybody. This is your Brozo back from a well-needed hiatus. I've been, getting some things straight. That's why you haven't seen me. I've been a social media fast, a whole bunch of fasts, and a whole bunch of things. But lo and behold, out of nowhere, source tapped me with the right person to bring me back. As soon as I was talking about coming back, I get a text and a phone call from one of my people, one of my folks. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into that tonight, and we're gonna talk about that. But if you haven't already, like I said, go to yourbrozo.com, pick up my book, Bicultural Living and Leaving the World of Illusions. I actually have another one coming out very soon. I'll be talking about because I'm back with y'all. I'm done doing what I needed to do. So time to get to work, and that's the reason why we're here because. My wonderful guest, you might have seen in my early days when I was doing my podcast. We had an amazing podcast. People, Laura, they really love that podcast as well. Yeah, they really, we were talking about it, they really liked it. So I'm going to stop talking about me. I'm going to bring my esteemed, wonderful guest on. And go ahead, Laura, if you will tell them who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff.
Oh, I am Laura Wilford. I'm 1111 Spiritual Colonies and Retreats. I'm a spiritual advisor. I am a hypnotherapist. I'm a counselor. I channel. I do it all. There's really not much that I don't do.
Okay. And so what is it? Well, let's kind of backtrack a little bit. So the people will understand, where you came from with this and your journey. Could you give like a brief breakdown of how you got into all of this? Because I noticed it's not something that you really can just. Everybody's not fit for it. So if you would, kind of talk about that, your journey to get to where you are now.
My journey. I'm one of those people really that kind of had the special gift my entire life. Didn't realize it at first. But there came a time. Probably in the early 2000s, I realized that I actually went to a Renaissance fair and someone was reading cards for me, and I was like, oh, yeah, right. And he said, you're special. You can do this for yourself. And long story short, he told me to put my hand above a card. This should be warm if it was a card for me. And the cards got really hot. And so I lifted up the curtain from the table and I looked under the table thinking he was messing with me and put it down. And there was nothing heating the cards. It was actually my hand. So that day I actually did do my own reading in front of him. And it really all blossomed from there. It just started, really diving into it. I had some other people tell me that I had a psychic come and do a reading for me once, and she said, why am I doing a reading for you when you are more gifted than I?
Yeah.
And that really I was like, what's going on? So, yeah, and it just blossomed. It just kept blossoming and growing and growing and growing. And of course, I've always been spiritual. But I just started feeding myself daily with books, with videos, anything I could get my hands on. I was just eating it and eating it and eating it. And really, that's how I came to where I am today. I used to use cards. I no longer obviously have to use cards for reading. Everything is very intuitive for me. Um, I don't know what more to say. I just am that person.
Yeah, and I'm not going to try to. I'm not going to sugarcoat this because, as you know, people in this world, and as Laura knows of herself, I surround myself with a certain type of people that have certain that are at certain levels, and because I'm myself trying to evolve to higher levels, so you keep that type of company. But I remember when I went, and I guess I'll keep the names out, but I remember when I came over, I think to do the interview. There was a certain situation that was happening in my life, in my family, and I knew what was going on because I was shown on one of my trips, one of my my journeys, my psychedelic journeys, it was exposed to me. I saw the other side of was going down. So I asked her, I asked her, you know, can you tell me something? And she just looked at me stone faced, and she said the exact name of that individual that I saw in my family, and she was just like, all I could do was say to her, "I know." You know what I mean? I thought, we didn't go into depth about it because I fortunately I was able to see that, so I knew exactly because she named this individual. Not by name, but she named who it was. The relation to me, and I was like, "Yeah, you passed the test." You know what I'm saying? So, needless to say, I saw it hands on that you got. But it actually going back to when I initially met you, I think it was at your daughter's wedding. And yeah, that's exactly what it was. I think it was your daughter's wedding. No, it was at Jordan's wedding. Was it Jordan's? Yeah, it was Jordan's wedding. Jordan's wedding. So I saw you walk in, and I was looking at you. I was like, who is that lady? You know what I mean? And you walking in like you were floating on a cloud. It was so funny. But I was just like, who is that lady? And they were like, that's Jordan's mom. I was like, okay, I got to talk to her. And then I saw your tattoos and stuff, and then we just started talking, and that's
Right.
what that's what opened it up. That's when I knew, because as they say, what they say, game recognized game, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or priests represent priestesses, or whatever you want to call it. You know, so and I told you before, like we were talking about before, like with the companion network marketplace, you're the type of individual that we would like to refer people to, that need help, and because we look for um, ethical, real people that really here to help people. And it was interesting because when you reached out to me, you were like, the source told me I got to get to work, and I was just like,
Right.
yeah. And so let's do this. Okay, so you have an event coming up. What's the name of the event?
It is the Soul Purpose Gathering. It's called
Okay.
Soul Purpose Gathering.
Okay. Please tell me how you came up with the name, why you're doing this. What is the Soul Purpose Gathering?
Um, you know, Soul Purpose Gathering is really about finding your path, knowing what you should do versus what people are telling you to do. It's about reaching out to your spirit guides and to your angels, really connecting with them, having them communicate with you, and you being able to hear them, to be guided on a path, to be guided towards the ultimate purpose. And as you know, we all have many purposes, right? I'm not only here today as a person who will guide people to find their own purpose, but I'm a mother, I'm a friend, I'm a sister, right? We all have different roles.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people are just searching right now. They're searching right now. They're fearful right now. They're worried. They're scared. They don't know what's going on. They watch the news continuously, which
Mm-hmm.
just elevates their fears and their
Mm-hmm.
anxieties. The other thing that's happening too is that people are feeling unsettled. They're feeling unknown anxiety. Like, why am I feeling anxious?
Mm-hmm.
Why are my ears ringing? Why is this happening? Why am I lightheaded? Why am I doing this? And I don't want to get into this real deep, but we're in that period of change where the worlds are separating, right? Old world, new world. So everybody's just kind of going crazy mentally, whether it's spiritual people who are really feeling that change, that vibrational shift, and other people who are stuck in front of that television watching all the things going on, watching the upcoming wars, watching the earthquakes, watching the weather change, watching, the icebergs crashing into the ocean. Everybody's just worried. This is when we really need to come together to really focus, to really align, to really find our soul purpose so that we can find peace in all of the chaos, the quiet in all of the noise. And that's really why I'm here. That's why we're having this group meeting. That's why we're able to come together, talk about our feelings, make sense about what we're feeling, right? So that we can leave in peace. Where we came in chaos, we're going to leave in peace. And then we're going to be able to help, reach out, and help others around us.
Now, I think that's very important what you're saying because even me, like I told you, that's one of the reasons why I kind of stepped back and really worked on because a lot of stuff you're talking about, like I remember just sitting in my room, like I was like, "What the hell is going on?" I was literally like, I was just like, "What?" Because I look at news and stuff somewhat, but not mainstream news and that because not only can you feel something on, but you can see something, you can feel something going, but you also see it. But at the same time, like you're saying, it's like once you realize that is that transitional point, you know what I mean? And not only that, but it's like as long as you do right, if you're guided the right way, or even like you said, listen to source, then things will be okay. It's not gonna, it's not gonna, yeah, you'll things will be okay, you know. And a lot of people are getting scared and upset about all this, but what you're saying is so important because I know so many people that are just really scared, anxious,
Yeah, yeah,
nervous about what's going on. And, because the reality is, I'm going to tell you something straight up, Laura. Like, I didn't think I'd be seeing what I'm seeing right now, like in the world. I didn't think so. I thought that, it would be my children's children. But no, it's here.
no,
Yeah,
yeah,
that age of Aquarius is here, and the Piscean age is gone. The age is carried. I'm seeing all the things that are such hard structures fall and like a new reality come, and that could be scary for a lot of people.
hmm hmm
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. The other
So,
day,
mhm,
I dreamt that there was a minor earthquake, and it was so odd because it was almost like I was outside of my body, but I was seeing all the people around and in the streets and walking around in the street markets and all of that kind of stuff. The first part of the dream was just a mild tremor. People were just kind of off balance, but they continued to walk.
mhm,
Later, I dreamt that a major earthquake happened.
mhm,
Now, I woke up the next morning and I thought, oh, that was interesting. I really wish you would have given me a place and a time. Well, lo and behold, the next day, that's when the earthquakes hit in the Philippines.
mhm. Yeah, 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 and it's interesting just because like if you understand like how what's going on like with the earth, the sun, and the solar flares, and realizing that there are cycles that happen with the earth and with people and how we're all connected, then then it's like it all makes perfect sense about all these changes, but it's just a matter of you being aware of these changes and how they can affect you and affect others.
But it also, you need to be aware of how your own vibration affects yourself.
Mm-hmm.
We can buy into everything and we can um, join the avalanche of fear,
Mm-hmm.
or we can stay centered and know that everything works out for everyone's well being.
Yeah, yeah.
And more importantly, know that everything works out for you.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Mm-hmm.
you can find that within yourself, even if it means shutting off the television, turning down the radio, or just playing your music, or just playing your videos, or watching
Mm-hmm.
your TV shows, and not allowing that outside
Yeah.
energy, the outside noise to come in,
Mm-hmm.
then you
Mm-hmm.
can stay more focused on your own peace. And that's
Yeah.
really what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really big right now on um embracing the power that I'm starting to learn that's inside me,
Yes.
and like you say, blocking everything out because I'm starting to see like I'm gonna give you a prime example. I've played sports my whole life.
Mhm.
Love watching baseball, love watching football, all this kind of stuff the whole life. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a rat's ass about none of that shit now. You know what I mean? Because it's like, what does that mean? It's all the distraction.
Yeah.
I can't. When I look at stuff from religions and people all dogmatic. I'm stuff like that. It's like a distraction
Yep.
on top of distraction, and that's what I'm one of the things I'm coming to realize now is just like this system, this program, this matrix was just set up to distract you from keeping you to really realize how great of a person and being that you truly are.
Yep. You're so right.
hmm you know and and it's just saying all that, again. I wish, well, I shouldn't say I wish because we have it now, but I'm happy that you have an event like that, so so people can sit down and talk, what I mean, talk about it and get answers,
Right.
from people that are I was going to say ordained, but people that are qualified to answer these questions, you know what I mean. It is so important because believe me, a lot of these people, like you see the people that are the fear mongers, the people that are just watching TV and all this kind of stuff, you know, they're it's like they're doing the exact opposite thing they should be doing. They should be going in,
Right.
instead they're going out.
Right. Right. And they pick up their phone. They look at Facebook, and Facebook is bringing them all kinds of bad
Exactly.
news.
Exactly.
Everything that you're looking at is bringing drama, and
hmm
I just I want to remind people that all is well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
uh, on the
Thank you.
25th, on Saturday, which is when the event will be held of this
hmm
month,
hmm
um, we're going to take some time to let people come in and just kind of have some hors d'oeuvres and fellowship with common believers,
hmm
people who have the same thought process.
hmm
Sometimes when you just talk to people and you can hear uh, ideas from other people and listen to their point of view,
hmm
you really get the sense of, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
I'm not alone. And other people know what I'm talking about. Other people feel what I'm talking about. And you find peace within one another. You find hope. You find hope. And that's what's really important. So
hmm
during that 30, 45 minutes or so, we're just going to let them talk and commune and really connect. I think it's
hmm
so important right now to connect with people
hmm
who are in alignment with you.
Yeah.
After that, then we'll go into the program. We'll be talking about how to communicate, and then we'll actually even go into meditations and practice our communication skills
Wow.
with our um, with our angels and our spirit guides.
No, I don't know how much I can reiterate, the importance of what you're talking about because I'm gonna tell you, and I'm not exaggerating at all. I think there might, and you included, you're one of those people. I think I might have either 5 or 6 people on this planet that I know that I could truly have a conversation about the stuff that I see, the stuff I feel, and all of this thing, and them, and not seem like a crackpot, you know what I mean, and and a crazy person, and truly, because it's different. It's okay when you're on this journey. It's much different once you've done a bunch of research and you've done read a bunch of books and the stuff that you read, all this stuff is now being presented in front of you. You're like, holy shit. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like, number one, I'm not crazy because, I was being led down this path and this journey to receive this information. But it's like, it's not a TV, it's not a movie. This shit is real, you know?
it's
You know?
definitely real.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
is
you know
it?
what I'm saying?
Or is it? Is it real?
Yeah. That's the question, you know. I don't. I'm waiting to get that. I'm still waiting to. I don't know when I'm going to get that answer, but when I when I do, I'll be very happy
Right,
to what I'm saying. And then look. Then I'll question that.
right, right. Exactly. Matrix, Memrex, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. But it's interesting because like because we're kind of talking about current events and stuff, and it's very interesting to me because what I'm seeing is the people and the individuals that, like I said, going inside and getting connected and with nature. You have to get back with mother. You have to get back with source
Right.
because the matrix is trying to bring you into this this irreality, this illusion. You know what I mean? And it's very important now, I would say, to, just like I said earlier, like what I did. I had to. I'm telling you, this stuff was hitting me hard. I had to take it fast. I had to stop. I had to. That social media had to go. I had to go because I remember even when I came back just to check the messages. First message I see are these people. I think some person got shot on the side of the what do you call it, a traffic stop. Then the people arguing over here. I was like, yo, this is insane because I took that break. I'm like, yo, I was watching this. You know,
Right.
I was a part of this. And I'm so grateful that I took that break because it's helped so much. You know what I mean? So much. And some of it was fasting. Is one of the on all accords. Food, spiritual, mental fasting is very important. So maybe I need to do a whole show on that. But
Right. For
so
real. I think
yeah.
if you look within and you listen to yourself, right now is a time of separation. And I know I just talked about everyone coming together, but it's also a time of separation, letting things and people fall away, right?
Hmm.
So if someone or something does not feel right
Yeah.
for you or with
Hmm.
you, don't force yourself to stay with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Allow it to
Yeah.
fall away. And
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
all have people in our lives that are not in your best interest. You
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they collide with your vibration, right? And you
Hmm.
still want to love them, you still want to hold them tight,
Hmm.
you're still loyal to the relationship,
Hmm.
but you have to now be in um, that drive, that you're striving for peace. And
Hmm.
sometimes finding peace means letting people go,
Hmm.
letting things go. It doesn't mean that you don't love them
Yeah.
anymore. It
Yeah.
just means that you're choosing your sanity or your own
Hmm.
peace first, right?
Yeah.
So I think that too in itself is a lesson and learning how to let go without saying goodbye, because goodbye for a lot of people feels very permanent.
Yeah.
If we can just let them go and allow them to be who they are, so
Hmm.
you can allow yourself to be who you are. When you do
Hmm.
that, your vibration is going to elevate.
Hmm.
You're going to become bigger. You're going to be stronger. You're going to be more extended, and then you can just vibrate on a different level. And you're going to have to do that right here, right now. You got to
Yeah.
know who your friends are, and not your enemies, but who the other people are. Because right
Hmm.
now, for those people who need to come together, super important, right? We don't need people dragging us back, pulling us down, pulling us into their negativity, pulling us into their drama, pulling us into, and we just get so caught up and we just don't know what to do, and we're just all anxious ourselves. You got to search for peace. You got to search for your people. And really, that's one of the reasons we're having this group, so that you can find your people, so you can
Hmm.
connect with your people. So
Hmm.
instead of calling someone who's going to stress you out, bring you down, they tell you about how horrible their day was, and now you're telling them how horrible your day was when you really didn't connect with them to do that in the first place. You just wanted to say,
Hmm.
hey, how you doing?
Hmm.
Right? So if we can find people in our own community who are like-minded,
Hmm.
when we call them, they're going to tell us positive things,
Yeah.
uplifting things. And
Hmm.
then now we can resonate, and the next thing you know, all of our vibrations are going up. We're becoming stronger together, more powerful.
Hmm. It's interesting that you say that because, like, I read somewhere in a book that because of the negative mindset of the people on this planet, it's put like a negative shield of a crystal, like a crystal shield ball around the planet Earth of just negativity, and it's keeping the vibrations down. And it's amazing to me because all around the world now, I'm seeing revolts. They're about to have in America. They're about to have what the No King March or something like that. But all over Africa, all over the a lot of places around, people are starting to really wake up and they're starting to say,
Right.
I'm not about this anymore. The program's falling. You're lying. You know, the reason why I'm saying all that because it's like it's starting to become more and more realistic to me. How if you and I were to go back 20,000 years ago, how this place would be a whole different place because of the mindset of the people. It's a collective consciousness. You know what I mean? I'm starting to see that now. How that shift to consciousness could be make such a major change on this third dimension. You know.
Right.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
And it seems like it literally starts with what you're talking, what you're about to do. It literally like starts there. You know what I mean? Having a conversation, being able to express yourself, being able to, get that with that what's that word? A comfort. You know what I mean? Of it's okay. Listen,
Yeah.
you're not crazy. This is what's going on. Read this. Maybe watch this. You know what I mean? And just share. So this is really deep, man. This is what you're doing because I don't know if I've heard anything like this personally. That's what you're doing, especially in this day and time. Like such because you're very detailed about, very specific about what you're trying to do. I think that's amazing. So wow.
But I think that's what we all have to be. I mean, just
Hmm.
even in your daily life, you have to be very specific and
Hmm.
very focused because I promise you, and I included, I could be, this is me this morning. I had to get dressed. I'm going to check the weather, right? Do you think I checked the weather before I put my phone down? I did 15 other things when I grabbed my phone, and I should probably check Facebook and I should probably do this. And then I put my phone down and walked back to my closet, realized I never even looked at the weather because I was so distracted by everything that popped up on my phone. When I pulled the little line down, it says email this, email that, Facebook this,
I know the feeling.
and I'm just like, if you don't have purpose and if you don't have focus in your spiritual life and or your personal life, you will be distracted. That's just the nature of right now. So, getting together like this, reminding people to stay focused in their everyday journey will help them move farther faster. Put the phone down, turn the TV off, do what it takes to stay focused and get things that you need to be done because chances are Source is talking to you as well. But you got to be quiet and listen. And if you can't quiet the noise, you will never know the knowing.
Yeah,
Quiet the
that's so
noise
true.
and open up your knowing.
That's their job is just to give you noise, nonstop noise. You know, nonstop noise because and I think it's interesting because there was a teacher, well-known teacher, Baba Kalindi. I was talking to him one time when I was at an event, and I told him, I was in my early 40s, and I said, I'm finally starting to figure this stuff out. I'm finally like what it is to be alive, what it is to be on this planet. Or it's starting to make sense now. He's like, this is about the time that things start making sense, and it's like as complicated as it seemed like it was before. It's becoming less complicated now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break it down to even just like the Bible. Like you could have 10, like the 10 Commandments. Now, if you could just master, that 10 Commandments, then you're a pretty good person. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That's a good starting. A good starting thing. So, and it's just interesting because of, you know, it's very. I'm very honored and blessed that I was tapped by my ancestors or whoever it is that put me on this guide, you know, to go on this journey to be able to embrace everything that I'm learning and experiencing, and not be freaked out.
Right. Right. That can be difficult.
Yes, yes, yes. But it seems like you might have something that might be able to help a lot of people, and that's a good thing. That the meetup. I love that idea. Um, do you have? I know I'm going to put all your information in the description, of course, and
Uh-huh.
also the flyer you have. I'll put that all once we put this up. Is there any? could you want to go into more specific, maybe details about the actual event itself? Like,
Well, like I said, you know what? And it's kind of like I told you before this. I really do go with the flow because I try to be led by spirit. But I do have a basic guideline. And like I
mm-hmm,
said, food and communion is always first and foremost.
mm-hmm,
Get everybody comfortable. Then, when we sit down, we are really going to go over how to communicate with spirit guides, how to communicate with your guardian angels, and what we're trying to, um, what kind of information we're trying to get from them. Now,
mm-hmm.
the main focus on this night will be your soul purpose. What am I here for? What am I meant to do? And what step do I take next? A lot of people are just like, what's the end goal? But it's really not about the end goal. It's really about the journey, right? So we just want to take step by step. We'll really calm down. And I'm actually having it in the space that you see behind me, um, my personal space, to be honest with you. And we will just really spread out. We will lay down. I will lead a meditation. Once we do that, we'll all get back together again and then talk about our experiences. What did you hear? What do you see? What do you think that that meant to you? And really start to analyze and pull apart what messages people got, and then talk to me personally so that they know and understand the message that they got. Because a lot of times people hear things, see things, feel things, they either don't realize it's someone trying to communicate with them, or they just don't hear it at all and they just keep on going with their day. That's why we talk about slowing down and taking time to really open that inner ear and really hear what you are being communicated with. So that's our big thing, is just giving people purpose, giving people direction, and giving people an understanding of what they're experiencing.
All right, now we've talked a lot about just the craziness of the world. Could you kind of give the folks your personal advice about what they should do to stay on course? To weather this storm, this brief storm with its transitional in this transitional times.
Well, I think the most important thing to tell everyone right here, right now, is that everything's going to be okay. Hold on, breathe through it. This is a time for Mother Earth to grow and expand and change. Yes, that can be scary. Yes, people may or may not get hurt. But if you can stay calm and stay focused right here and now, you're going to get through this. Just like COVID 19, everybody was going to die, right? Well, you and I are still here talking. You're still here listening to me, and everything is okay. Some people may have lost some people, and for those people, I am very sorry. But everybody serves a purpose, and everybody serves that purpose to teach other people lessons. Talking about COVID 19, that was a huge thing for the United States, right? But the things that we've learned and the things that we've even learned about our government are now all coming to light, and everything served a purpose to awaken us, to awaken the community in us, to awaken our resilience, to awaken our power. We are now wanting to know who, what, when, where, and why, where before we were just kind of on co-pilot, just kind of moving around and floating around hairy fairy, right? So now that I've said all that, I totally forgot what your question is. We
Well, no,
gotta cut that part
well,
out.
no, no, well, no, you pretty much, I was just, again, I was just asking, you know, what we should do. I mean, that's all good information you just said. Actually, hold on a second. Let me get back to us. Let me get back to us. Okay. So, no, I was just saying, give people advice about, simple things that they can hold on to about being in this transition in this time. The times we're
Right.
saying. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I think I've already said it. Stop
Mm-hmm.
watching television as much.
Mm-hmm.
Stop
Mm-hmm.
focusing on the news.
Mm-hmm.
Stop listening to your neighbor. You know what? When someone comes to you with negative information, change the subject. If
Yeah.
you can't change the subject, politely exit the conversation. You laugh at that, but that is very, very true. And believe me, I
Mm-hmm.
do it all the time because
Mm-hmm. You
everybody
too.
wants to tell me
Mm-hmm.
how horrible their life is.
Yeah,
And then when I
exactly.
come back at them and try to flip it, sometimes they don't like that so much. But if you can really take yourself out of the situation purposefully by not watching television, by not having negative conversations, you know what I do? If I start feeling stress or anxiety, I paint.
Mm-hmm.
Something so simple, but you know what? It
Mm-hmm.
takes focus to paint. Can I think about anything negative going
Yeah.
on? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
So find a hobby, find a craft, jump in the kitchen and start cooking. Find your passion, whatever that may be.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on that for 30 minutes, for an hour. Do you like to
Mm-hmm.
write? Sit down and write. Do you like to journal? Sit down and journal.
Mm-hmm.
Take time out for yourself. It doesn't have to be meditation because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't focus because if I'm quiet, my mind is talking. Okay, don't meditate
Mm-hmm.
because when you are focused on your passion, you're actually meditating. You just don't know it. So go ahead and find your thing, whatever that thing is, and pour yourself into that once a day if you have to, twice a week if you don't have time to do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Once you start focusing within by doing things without that bring you joy, you're going to find more peace.
Yeah. 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 One thing that I'm starting to become, and you couldn't have told me this maybe 10 years ago or whatever the case may be, but, you know, I'll just call them the evil ones. I'll just use that as a term. The
Okay.
evil ones are not the boogeyman, and they don't have nearly as much power as you think they do. You know, that is a big time realization I realized, and now especially in this day and time. Now, obviously, they had this joint on lockdown for a good 6,000 years. You know what I'm saying? So we don't
Hmm.
understand, and they decided to do what they did with that 6,000 years. So cool. We're coming in a different time frame, and so it's a different type of energy. So you had that time to do that. You manifested what you manifested, and compared to what we know about ancient times, this is an ugly picture compared to what days were. But we can honestly say that there's different times, astrologically speaking, spiritually speaking. Those times are gone, and we're going into a different age. So I would definitely like to say the worst is behind us. You know what I mean? When it comes to um, a consistent long term of just what we've witnessed in the past. We can start to have hope in better things in the near future. You know.
I think that with the shift in the mindset of the people, um, there's going to be some turbulence and there's going to be
Mm-hmm.
some chaos. However,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to rise above.
Exactly.
There is going to be change.
Mm-hmm.
And really, it's going to be a dramatic change because
Mm-hmm.
people are starting to question religion.
Exactly.
People are starting to question authority. People
Exactly.
are really starting to, when there are questions, there ultimately has to be answers.
Exactly right.
And we are going into a period of answers and awakening.
I saw a movie last night that it was called Heretic. Hugh Grant was in it. I'm not sure if you've seen that,
I have
but
not.
yeah, it's interesting because the whole movie it's about Mormons trying to convert people like these little girls. But they meet this guy, and he's just done so much research on religion,
Mhm.
and just to kind of fast forward a little bit, but his whole purpose trying to show these two girls was religion. All these different things is just about control, 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 control your
Yeah,
mind, suppress the God inside you, control. And I think what we're seeing this day and time now is like when that control goes away and we start to embrace, you know, because it's like this. I tell people Laura all the time. People be like, oh, you know, they talk about Jesus and you're sure, all this stuff, and I'm like, I have a different take on it, Laura. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at this man and I'm like, okay, he seems very similar to me. He's
Mhm.
did a bunch of he's studied his ass off, went around the whole world, you know, met a whole bunch of people, showing love. You know, I'm not saying I'm Jesus or anything, but
Right.
um, but this individual took his time on this planet Earth to be the best individual he could be, and it was sharing it with people.
That's right.
You know, and I'm like, I would never worship a person like that. I want to be like him. You know what
That's right.
I'm saying? I want, yo, man, I'm not gonna worship. That's like if you were Jesus, I'd be like, you know what, Laura, I want to learn from exactly how you got to where you are today. Could you please teach me?
Right.
Instead of
Right.
coming to your feet, oh, Miss Laura, please tell me, you know,
Yeah. Right.
yeah, So this man did all that stuff, and the whole world knows this individual because he took the time in his life to be the best person he could be and utilize all the resources of nature and all these wonderful things. And not only that, he shared that with people. That doesn't seem like that. That sounds good to me.
Right. And remember that during his time period, because that's a whole nother subject that I could go so
Mm-hmm.
very deeply on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At
Mm-hmm.
that time, when he was alive, he wasn't the person that many, many people revere now. He
Mm-hmm.
was like you, he was
Mm-hmm.
an everyday man.
Mm-hmm.
He was that person. He was chosen to write about in the future. But
Mm-hmm.
at that time, he was very much a man. And he
Mm-hmm.
very much did go and study. And he
Mm-hmm.
very much did say, it's not me that you need to worship. Everyone can
Mm-hmm.
do the same thing that I'm doing and more.
And more. Yep.
And you're supposed to worship the source, not
Mm-hmm.
me.
Not
I'm
me.
just here as an example.
Exactly right.
And he definitely, definitely did not intend for his name, um, to be what it is today.
Exactly.
He would
Exactly.
have more enjoyed and loved if we could have totally emulated him and his
His
practices,
message. Yes.
not praised him.
Exactly right. I agree 100% because once I got broke from the spell of the religions, all of them, and seeing for what they were. I was able to look at it in a more practical term. I'm talking Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam. I'm just like, okay, well, they keep on talking about source, source,
Mhm.
source, source. Okay,
Mhm.
that's like the only constant in any of them is, what I mean. If you look at
Right.
the, if you're looking at what they're saying, but again, it all goes back to what you're saying. It's like the boogeyman can't get you if you connected to source and realize that you kick the boogeyman's ass if you really if you really down to it. You know what I'm saying? You can
Exactly.
if you embrace your power, like the old Freddy Krueger movies. He was killing everybody until they realized they were dreaming and they had power in their dreams. There's no
Mhm.
difference. There's no difference.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, no
And
difference.
just so everyone knows, you are powerful and you
Mm-hmm.
are able to do all of the things that you believe you can do.
Yeah,
The greatest control that they have over you and everyone else is to make you think you have no power.
exactly.
If you
Exactly.
can wake up and exercise that power,
Mm-hmm.
that's what religion to me is about, is controlling the masses,
Control. Yep.
keeping you blinded, keeping
Mm-hmm.
you in the dark about the power that you have within you.
Exactly right. Exactly right. I couldn't say it any better. And I think that's one of the things that why it's very important. Why you're doing is very important for what you're doing right now to start to start to show people that they don't have to go outside there. Start coming back in, on a consistent. Is this something that you're going to be doing consistent? Do you think?
I definitely am. I'm
Yeah.
planning on, um, definitely at least once a month.
Mm-hmm.
After the holidays, I'd like to do it at least twice a month. I
Mm-hmm.
am also now opening myself back up to taking in clients for readings, for hypnotherapy, for spiritual
Okay.
counseling, um, for everything, for absolutely everything. I've been called to step up and serve the masses again.
It is so interesting because like a lot of my the sisters in my circle and brothers too, but specifically sisters, what you just said, I'm hearing that word for word verbatim. What you're saying, like they told me to get off my ass. I got to get to work. I got to touch the
Yep.
people. I got to talk to the people. That like for verbatim, that's what these people that have these gifts are saying. So, you know, um, I guess that's what happened. You were connected to source in Mother Nature. So, well, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about tonight about your event or anything else?
No, I just really genuinely want to invite everyone to this event. There is a fee. It's $25, but with that, you get all of our meditations, you get all of our information in a folder, you get a T-shirt, and you get food. Everything is just really about you,
Mm-hmm.
helping you wake up, helping you, most importantly, remember, helping you come together with a community who genuinely loves you and embraces you and understands you. So
Mm.
please
Mm-hmm.
come, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll see you there.
Yep. Like I said, I'll have all the information in the description, and once you shoot me over that, all the flyers, all that good stuff, I'll put it here so that all the folks can see. And besides that, I really don't have anything else. Thank you for being my first person back from my hiatus. It's a
Yay!
perfect person, and as long as I'm in the country and not too busy, I plan on being at your event as well. So, besides that, it was wonderful talking to you again as always, and that's it on mine.
All right. Well, I thank you for having me, and I would love to go to your future events and meet all of your followers and just really become a community with you.
Indeed, of course, that's what we're here for. So, all right, well, I definitely appreciate your time. You know what I mean, and we shall, we'll definitely be doing some other things in the future. So y'all just keep an eye out for that, and besides that, we are out of here. Peace and love, everybody.
All right. Bye bye.
All right.